The limits of my language means the limits of my world. A serious and good philosophical work could be written, consisting entirely of jokes. Whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent. I don't know why we are here, but I'm pretty sure that it is not in order to enjoy ourselves. The real question of life after death isn't whether or not it exists, but even if it does, what problem this really solves. Hell isn't other people, hell is yourself. If people never did silly things, nothing intelligent would ever get done. Nothing is so difficult as not deceiving oneself. If we take eternity to mean not infinite temporal duration but timelessness, then eternal life belongs to those who live in the present. A man will be imprisoned in a room with a door that's unlocked and opens inwards, as long as it does not occur to him to pull rather than push. Don't, for heaven's sake, be afraid of talking nonsense, but you must pay attention to your nonsense. The problems are solved not by giving new information, but by arranging what we have known since long. Not how the world is, but that it is the mystery. We are asleep, our life is a dream, but we wake up sometimes, just enough to know that we are dreaming. How small a thought it takes to fill a life. Philosophy is a battle against the bewitchment of our intelligence by means of language. When we can't think for ourselves, we can always quote. Never stay up on the barren heights of cleverness, but come down into the green valleys of silliness. To imagine a language is to imagine a form of life. We feel that even if all possible scientific questions be answered, the problems of life have still not been touched at all. Ethics and aesthetics are one. I act with complete certainty, but this certainty is my own. What can be shown cannot be said. At the core of all well-founded belief lies belief that is unfounded. Tell them I've had a wonderful life. What is troubling us is the tendency to believe that the mind is like a little man within. I give no sources, because it is indifferent to me whether what I have thought has already been thought before me by another. A picture held us captive, and we could not get outside it, for it lay in our language, and language seemed to repeat it to us inexorably. The world of the happy man is a different one from that of the unhappy man. You can't think decently if you're not willing to hurt yourself. When you are philosophizing, you have to descend into primeval chaos and feel at home there. The mystical is not how the world is, but that it is. This is how philosophers should salute each other. Take your time. Sometimes, in doing philosophy, one just wants to utter an inarticulate sound. Just improve yourself, that is the only thing you can do to better the world. Logic takes care of itself, all we have to do is to look and see how it does it. If in life we are surrounded by death, then in the health of our intellect, we are surrounded by madness. Everything that can be thought at, all can be thought clearly. Everything that can be said clearly. The eternal life is given to those who live in the present. Philosophers are often like little children who first scribble random lines on a piece of paper with their pencils, and now ask an adult, what is that? One often makes a remark and only later sees how true it is. The philosopher is not a citizen of any community of ideas. That is what makes him a philosopher. The face is the soul of the body. Knowledge is in the end based on acknowledgement. If a lion could speak, we could not understand him. I sit astride life like a bad rider on a horse. I only owe it to the horse's good nature that I am not thrown off at this very moment. If there were a verb meaning to believe falsely, it would not have any significant first person, present indicative. I think I summed up my attitude to philosophy when I said, philosophy ought really to be written only as a poetic composition. Our greatest stupidities may be very wise. The world is everything. That is the case. Suppose someone were to say, imagine this butterfly exactly as it is, but ugly instead of beautiful. The human body is the best picture of the human soul. This sort of thing has got to be stopped. Bad philosophers are like slum landlords. It's my job to put them out of business. Belief in the causal nexus is superstition. We are struggling with language. We are engaged in a struggle with language. It's impossible for me to say one word about all that music has meant to me in my life. How, then, can I hope to be understood? In art, it is hard to say anything as good as saying nothing. So in the end, when one is doing philosophy, one gets to the point where one would like just to emit an inarticulate sound. How small a thought it takes to fill a whole life. Uttering a word is like striking a note on the keyboard of the imagination. Language is a part of our organism, and no less complicated than it. In the world everything is as it is, and happens as it does happen. In it, there is no value, and if there were, it would be of no value. Man has to awaken to wonder, and so perhaps do peoples. Science is a way of sending him to sleep again. Most of the propositions and questions to be found in philosophical works are not false but nonsensical. A tautology's truth is certain, a propositions possible, a contradictions impossible. Music conveys to us itself. Always come down from the barren heights of cleverness into the green valleys of folly. Concerning that which cannot be talked about we should not say anything. Nothing is more important for teaching us to understand the concepts we have than to construct fictitious ones.